We literally bit the bullet, almost literally, and forced ourselves to book and ride the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto. We've been scared of the bullet train, but for local trips within a city, but this was just inevitable. It was the only option we had, and we were both looking forward to it. We did not take the subway to the train station. We instead took a cab, a lovely cab with a lovely gentleman who was dressed to the nines and covered his cab and the seats with bright white, clean linen fabric. Looks like a fancy tablecloth. Anyway, the experience was brief but sufficient to confirm to me that American infrastructure is hovering in the third world status. Even for terrified Americans, a drop-off at a very busy station led to key wayfinding techniques that guided us to where to buy the essential bento box for the ride. Yes, bento box is essential. Thank you to Laura Kelly for pointing that out to us, so we were sure to do that. We were able to, without any language difficulty, find where to stand in order to board the right train in the right car and to find the right seat. And we were able to find out where to go. There's a waiting room set aside with information on arrivals and departures, and we waited there with our bento box in hand until the train was near arrival. On the way to Kyoto, we passed through many cities, towns, and agricultural areas. Mount Fuji hovered over the landscape for virtually the whole trip. Beautiful, beautiful vision, symbol of Japan. We'd left the Gate Hotel in Tokyo, staying on the 20th floor, or about the 20th floor in this bustling big city. We checked into the Mitsui Garden Hotel on the first floor in Shinmachi Bete in Kyoto. It's a small hotel, very Japanese looking. We passed through fabric covering the doorway on a quiet street about 4 blocks from major Kyoto streets and subways. So everything in Kyoto seemed very convenient, especially if you were willing to take the subways and the bus system, which we didn't. The hotel itself felt very Japanese, quietly elegant, unfussy, with its own onsen, which I took full advantage of. And if you don't know an onsen, it's a Japanese hot tub. And this particular Japanese hot tub was for women only. There was another one for men. I hear that on good authority, but Ron never saw it. And you go into the onsen, and you might be alone, depending on the time you go, or you might find a mother, a daughter, and a grandmother, all naked, covering themselves with warm water, getting clean before they enter the onsen. And then they enter, and they sit, and they chat, and I sit and enjoy the water and the companionship, and we stay like that for about half an hour, and then we get up and go on our way back to our room and a good night's sleep. I loved it. We settled in to our room and went out to a nearby popular but also quietly elegant restaurant that had been recommended to us. It was early, so we got a seat. Tokyo was our first big jump into independent traveling, and now we were really on our own from here on. Kyoto was quieter and more comfortable by far than Tokyo, and offering many new ways for us to get lost, missed opportunities, and make new discoveries. We'd given ourselves a bit of a crutch by, on the recommendation of Louise Elving, we booked a tour guide, Tomako Kisaka, for the day, who would come with a driver and take us to visit 3 artist craftsmen. Seito-san was the first, and just a charming man. He's an artist who is our age. He lived and worked in New York City for a while. he went to New York City to work on the AIDS quilt, and help it get started traveling across the United States. So he's very politically comfortable for me anyway, and I also loved his artwork. He works mostly in textiles, and so now I'm pleased to say we're going to have some of that in our home. We went to his studio and had an excellent discussion, a wide-ranging discussion, a little bit about art and mostly about life in the late 60s and early 70s, and life today, and Tokyo and Kyoto, or actually not Tokyo, just Kyoto, and Japan in general. And it was a lovely, lovely conversation. Then Tomoko and her driver picked us up, and we visited the workplace of Sawe Shoyo, who is the current leader in a long line of a family that has run a soy sauce making factory in Kyoto. And by a long line, I mean that building was amazing. It had charred wooden walls on the exterior from the like 200 years ago battles that had taken place to reestablish the governance of that part of Japan. His family was pleased to have it, and he described to us how important it was that I guess the word would be the biome of the place stayed consistent, because it was absorbed into the taste of the soy sauce. I brought home some candy, which I am still doling out to myself about one piece a week, and it's soy sauce candy, hard to find. Lastly, we visited Hakuya Noguchi, who comes from a generations-long line of Japanese artists. For years, they specialized in making kimonos, and they were one of the top leading kimono manufacturers for the elegant ladies of Japan. They especially made kimonos that were including real gold woven into the fabric. We stayed with him, and he explained that while the kimonos are getting out of style and that business is closing, his son and daughter-in-law are still building a business on art and using the styles and that he learned, or using the techniques that he learned with textiles to weave the gold into textiles and make art from that. And that was very interesting, very detailed, and you'll see in the pictures, very detailed process that he showed us for how this was done. We met him, we met his daughter, and we met his wife. Tonight, we relaxed into the quiet excellence of a Japanese dinner, noting the simplicity of design and how it permeates the culture. There's much to absorb.